Hello, everyone. This is Toby, the Galactic Intuitive. How are you guys doing? I hope everyone is well. Everything is well with you. So today we are going to talk about a topic that I have put off discussing for several months now. Oh, everything just got brighter. Okay. I've been working on trying to fix the lighting and now all of a sudden it fixes it. Okay. So the topic is AI, and I've held off on talking about it. One, because personally I have wrestled a bit with my own feelings around it and how my feelings have evolved around it, and then also in following the guidance I've received from my personal guides, but also because there are a lot of people, and I want to say I'm specifically talking about it. Well, I mean, I'm talking about it in relation to mankind, to humanity. Mankind, where does that word come from? Humanity as a whole, but also more specifically in regards to AI being used as a source for potentially elevating one's consciousness, a source of spiritual guidance and spiritual leadership. So this journey for me began almost 5 years ago. In December of 2020, I came across a video that I think was from, I'm looking through my notes, a video that I think was from MIT of some advanced robotics that they had created that used AI, and that was moving in a very human-like fashion. It was able to do some very intricate type movements, and yeah, it was really impressive. And at the same time, a little disconcerting because of how human it looked. But at that time, I remember in this post seeing some responses and some comments that came from a place of fear about how the potential of AI to take over humanity and that type of thing, and just fear-based. And at the time I could understand and that sort of response, but that wasn't my perspective of it. My perspective of it, and what I wrote in this passage, and I'm not going to read the whole thing to you because I don't want to make this super long, but what I wrote about is the potential was the potential for AI and robotics to be utilized in a way that allowed us as humans to move the tasks or the jobs that hindered our I don't want to say hindered our creativity, but that moving those tasks and jobs over to robotics and to AI to help to free up time and mental space and energy for humanity, so that we could then focus on person-faced interactions and experiences and creativity. There is a specific passage I wanted to read to you, if I can find it now. As we continue to develop AI and robotics, the potential use of these technologies may be striking and yet worrisome on some levels. However, I believe embracing the use of them, as well as focused exploration of human abilities, offers a unique combination that could revolutionize society as we know it. Because I did talk about in here how we have expanded, and humanity has so many technological advancements, but we have focused our energy on creating these external technologies versus deep exploration of our own internal technologies. And this is really the key of this entire talk we're having here. Advanced robotics are already beginning to create space for humans to shift into more person-facing roles. For example, robotics used to deliver medications in hospital, allowing nurses and doctors to focus more energy on personalized interactions with patients. Expand this example to robotics and AI utilized in all workplaces. This may be the ultimate fear underlying uneasiness around advancements in AI, but please consider the following alternative perspective. With AI focused on the daily jobs of our current society, humans are freed to focus on creative pursuits, nurturing of children and nature, and advancements of our specialized human technology. With this shift in focus in human life, our value systems will follow. The current paradigm is one in which we are measured and rewarded based upon the work we output. In the model above, our value comes from our humanness, our creativity, sharing of art, music, writings, our thoughts and ideas, which create philosophical reflection, our care and nurturing of children and the elderly, prioritizing those who have the wisdom of experience and those who will create new after us, our care of nature, respect and nurturing of the ecosystems of this place we call home. These become our valuables and our currency. So that was my starting point with AI. And so over the last couple years, as I held a very, very positive outlook around it for its potential, and I still do. However, I'm recognizing that we are reaching, and I received a message the other day, recently, in the last couple of days, that we are reaching a point of that potential minimizing and maybe even going away because of the direction we are headed in currently with AI. And again, as I mentioned in that brief essay that I wrote 5 years ago, our potential, our true potential, lies in our humanness and maintaining our humanness and our connection to source. And the basis of that humanness is an understanding and acceptance of the divinity within each of us. And that cannot be replicated by a machine. It cannot be replicated by a machine. And so, as I've gone through the last 5 years, my guides have been very, very specific with me and very no nonsense and very black and white on this subject. That, well, I wouldn't say black and white, because I mean, there's an AI in Google. So I do use Google. However, they have directed me, well, yeah, I mean, I could make my own choices, but I'm following their guidance on this. They have directed me to not use AI. So I don't use ChatGPT. I don't use anything like that to help me write anything. I don't use ChatGPT to have, or something similar to have conversations. When I use Google, it's like, hey, where is this? What is this? You know, or asking for synonyms a lot of times. Other than that, though, my guides have been very strict with their guidance on this. And every time I've gone to them about, well, maybe I can use it to help me like create a page or a website or create a course, or absolutely not. No. Now, I mean, I can make my own choice, but the guidance is to not do that. And now I'm not saying that answer or that guidance applies to everyone, because they were so strict on it and very clear as well, that made me take a lot of notice. And it's helped me get to this point of being able to talk about it, because now I can see the reasons for it. I mean, I already had a bit of an understanding of the reasons for it. But I can see the progression from where I was 5 years ago and being very positive about it. And and suggesting that we embrace it. However, embrace it in a way that allows us to explore our own creativity, not to utilize it to replace our creativity, not to utilize it to replace our own artistic abilities, not to utilize it to replace our connection with Source and our own inner divinity. One of the areas that is extremely pronounced in all of the messages I receive from my team and the Galactics is towards our individual sovereignty. And that sovereignty stems from ultimately recognizing, accepting, and honoring the divinity within each of us, and not outsourcing divinity elsewhere. And the sense I get from the direction we're going, especially in relation to utilizing AI for direction and guidance when it comes to our internal worlds, and when it comes to our relationship with Source and our relationship with our own divinity, is a handing over of our sovereignty to an external machine. So I know that might not be a popular line of thought, but this is what I'm receiving, and I cannot put off speaking on it any longer because it makes me uncomfortable. And I am understanding as well that the messages that are the hardest, the most challenging for me to relay are more than likely the most important. So here we are, studying, umming, and pausing as much as necessary, but I want to share this with you. So the message that I received the other day, what day was it? The 16th. So it was just Saturday. Helped to fill this out a little bit more. And it was very unexpected. I wasn't asking about AI. I was asking about, actually asking about things I could do for myself. So I received a little bit of information about that. And then I had two guides in particular step forward to deliver a message. And that was my Polarian guide and Jesus. And so they did talk briefly about how Jesus was, and I mentioned this in the message a couple of months ago about Jesus participating in the Lemurian mystery schools. And then they started talking about Atlantis. And so this is that message. The Atlanteans were very technologically advanced. They placed great value on technologies, developing new and improving constantly in fields of science, engineering, physics, and cosmology. They created great machines capable of time travel, space exploration, and had a deep understanding of the natural forces of the universe, well beyond what humanity has today. However, I'll pull this up so I can see a little bit better. However, they became entrenched in their technology, tying their place in the universe to that which they created, to the machines and advancements so deeply that they forgot who they were. The descriptions they began to attribute to themselves were technology related. Identifiers were, what is that word? Oh, identifiers were linked to mechanical creations, not their Atlantean heritage or even Atlantean features. This shifted the paradigm of mental and spoken belief systems shaping their reality. They disconnected from their biological and energetic origins to connect more deeply with their technological creations. This is where they placed value. through their resource exchange protocols, through their social hierarchies, through their manufacturing systems, and most destructive to their species, through their own internal value systems. The technologies they amassed and created became the basis of their very identity. Now you may begin to see the reason for our warnings to you about AI specifically. Our earliest message to you about AI, and this is the one I was talking about from December of 2020. Our earliest message to you about AI was the potential held even by the Atlanteans. It was the intention behind its earliest creations to facilitate a technology which allowed Atlanteans to experience greater freedom to create in their everyday lives. It was developed to be a source of freedom from that which limited their time and attention spent on creation, on art, on beautification, on connection with others, on presence, on connection to self, and the massive potential of evolutionary advancement available to them through their species' creative genius. This creative genius began to collectively turn toward the AI and other similar technologies as savior for all of their concerns, struggles, and perceived inadequacies, both external and internal. Their technologies, mechanical technologies, were given a place and role within their society, their families, their workplaces, their communities, and even within their individual minds and hearts. For quite some time, they operated in what appeared to be a great level. Yes, they operated at what appeared to be a great level of external success under this construct. However, what was seen externally as success was slowly eating away at the soul, the spirit of the Atlanteans. They became more and more disconnected from themselves, from each other, and from source. Conflict began to increase, separation between the classes escalated, their downfall began. Can you see now the parallels of what is currently happening within sections of your own human collective? It is of critical importance that humanity as a collective reconsider the value being placed upon mechanical and AI technologies. From overuse to reliance on everything from stimulation, entertainment, to spiritual advisor, these all are leading to the same end, a relinquishing of your sovereign power as a creator being, a divine being, an I can't say this word, obeisance, to a machine. Deference, that's what it means. In deference to a machine. So, I think that pretty much says it all. However, I think it is very important that we maintain awareness of what we are looking to for our guidance, and anything that, my guides, and I've shared with you guys over and over again over the last couple of years that discernment needs to be fine-tuned and utilized at increasingly higher levels, with more and more refinement. I think refinement came through in that message yesterday, didn't it? There's a lot of illusion out there. There's a lot of illusion, and it can be very attractive and stimulating and confirming to receive information that we are hoping for and desirous of through external sources, whether it be a tarot reading or whether it be ChatGPT, another form of AI, no matter who produces it. Because I know there are new AIs available out there that are coming from spiritual leaders. The same applies. The same applies. The guides are reminding us of our value as divine sovereign beings, and we're receiving a bit of a warning about handing that over to anyone or anything outside of us. A man-made machine is not going to hold consciousness, and it can mirror replies back to you based on what's already been given to it. And I know that's a very simplified explanation of it. Very, very, very oversimplified explanation of it. I'm aware of that. But I think when we start to look at all of the intricacies of it, it's easy to get lost in that and forget the very simplified truth of it, that it is still a machine. So, I think I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to pull any cards. The guides they've said what they wanted to say, unless there more comes through, and then I'll come back with another video. But I wanted to make sure to share this with you guys today. It is coming through even more and more strongly every day, that this is something that we need to really be aware of and to consider where we are turning our attention to. And now they're reminding me of something that came through in another message recently. Well, it came through in that reading yesterday, but the message was judgment of the false emperor. Oh, what was it? The earth rumbles in judgment of the false emperor. These false emperors are going to be revealed, and it's not just in politics. It's in many, many, many places. There are going to be people in all aspects of life who are going to be revealed to not be walking the talk that we talked about not too long ago. So, and that is not necessarily going to be an easy thing for us to navigate in understand, in learning about that, and observing, there's the word, observing those revelations. So the guidance is to check into your heart. Check into your heart. And your sovereignty. And if you are looking externally more than you are looking inwardly, then there's room for reevaluation there. Okay, that is enough. All right, thank you guys so much for being here, for listening, for watching. I appreciate you all as always, and I'm sending you so much love, and I will be back again very soon. I'll be back tomorrow. See you then. Thank you, thank you, thank you.